In a nostalgic and crumbling city called Kowloon, Reiko, a realtor, navigates her everyday life, smoking on balconies, dealing with quirky coworkers, and exploring strange new cafes. But as a project like Generic Terra blurs the line between memory and reality, Reiko finds herself caught between the past, a possible alternate self, and unexpected feelings for her eccentric colleague, Kudo. What starts as a slice-of-life tale slowly unravels into something much deeper and more mysterious. The story begins with our protagonist, Reiko, waking up early in the morning at 7 a.m. She slices up a watermelon and enjoys eating it while leisurely smoking a cigarette on her apartment balcony. After this relaxed morning routine, she prepares herself for work and heads out of her apartment. While on her way to the office, she passes by a TV store that's playing an advertisement for something called Generic Terra, a government-backed project that utilizes cutting-edge technology to back up the memories of every human being. This system claims to make things like eternal youth and even immortality achievable. Two elderly men watching the broadcast chat among themselves, remarking that the project is actually being run by a private corporation known as Hebanuma Pharmaceutical. Reiko finally arrives at her workplace, where we learn that she works as a realtor. She just barely makes it on time and is about to clock in when her co-worker, Hajime Kudo, suddenly shoves past her and clocks in for himself. As a result, Reiko ends up clocking in late. While they go about their duties, Reiko approaches Kudo to hand him a file containing the day's new property listings. Clearly annoyed by her delayed check-in, she seems irritated, and in response, Kudo promises to treat her to lunch to make up for it. Their senior colleague reflects on the strange nature of the Kowloon neighborhood. He notes that, although it's not exactly a comfortable or ideal place to live, the number of residents never seems to go down. He speculates that perhaps it's because people simply have nowhere else to go. Kudo, on the other hand, expresses his love for Kowloon just as it is. Meanwhile, Reiko appears to be struggling a bit with her glasses. During their lunch break, Reiko suggests they try out a newly opened cafe she found through a flyer, but Kudo insists on sticking to their usual hangout spot. Reiko is visibly upset by his refusal, though Kudo doesn't appear to care much. She complains that her glasses feel off that day, mentioning that her prescription might need an update. Kudo is surprised to see her using eye drops manufactured by Hebanuma Pharmaceutical. He confesses his distrust in the company ever since the founder's son took over, a sketchy figure with a background in running a shady beauty clinic. According to Kudo, all you really need for eye strain is some pressure point massage, and he even offers to do it for her. She refuses, leading to a scuffle between the two. During their conversation, Reiko asks about an apartment that's been vacant for over 6 months. Kudo explains that it tends to get unbearably hot in the afternoon, and, without an AC, no one in their right mind would want to live there. He adds that the interior is pretty outdated, and maybe a fresh coat of paint would make it more appealing. Reiko also confirms with him whether he fixed the broken door on the apartment located on Nam Kong Street, and he replies that he did. He says that everything is old in Kowloon. The landlords would be unhappy if maintenance guy was called over for small things, so he fixed it because he wants the tenants to be comfortable. They still have some time left in their lunch break, so Reiko asks if they should go get tea or something, but Kudo drops the idea and tells her to go see an eye doctor first. He is then seen playing with the kids. After getting her vision checked up, she returns to the office and tells them her vision is somehow all better now. Their senior thinks Reiko looks better without glasses, but Kudo prefers the glasses. Later that day, Reiko and Kudo are seen together on a rooftop, burning some papers. Kudo solemnly claims that humanity will eventually face consequences for creating things like Generic Terra. Reiko asks him if he's fundamentally opposed to the project, and he replies that he resents the idea of taxpayer money being spent on building a fake Earth. As they share a cigarette, Reiko wonders aloud how long the new cafe she found will manage to stay open, pointing out how quickly businesses tend to shut down in Kowloon. Kudo muses that Kowloon is meant to be a nostalgic place. He says the flickering street lamps, the damp, moldy alleyways, the noisy neighbors, these are the things that give Kowloon its charm. To him, the feeling is akin to being in love. The The people living there cling to that nostalgia, and that's why the place never really changes. They don't want anything new. Reiko admits that she doesn't normally feel that way about Kowloon, but sometimes she does when she's with Kudo. He glances at her, causing her to blush. As he steps in closer and studies her face, he jokingly comments that she has crow's feet. The next morning, Reiko shows up at the office wearing her glasses again. She says she's just too used to them and wants to take it slow, easing into her corrected vision. Kudo teases her, saying she's trying to hide her eye wrinkles because she's getting old. Reiko then notices that the cuffs of Kudo's shirt are dirty. He explains that it's just a quirky habit of his. He can't help touching the numbered walls while wandering around Kowloon. Later that evening, after finishing his work, Kudo asks Reiko to follow him. He leads her through a maze of alleys to a small restaurant, saying he wants to show her what really makes Kowloon special. Together, they try out various delicious local dishes. Eventually, they arrive at the Goldfish Tea House. As soon as Kudo steps in, the bartender recognizes him and greets him. Reiko, despite claiming she's full earlier, eats the complimentary watermelon, making Kudo laugh. She feels a wave of strange nostalgia from being around Kudo again. Lighting up a cigarette, she remarks how good it feels to smoke after eating watermelon. This surprises Kudo a bit. When she asks if he thinks she's weird, he tells her that it reminds him of someone who used to say the same thing. According to him, these small quirks are actually precious. They help you remember people when you encounter them again in someone else. As they leave the tea house, the waiter casually mentions he's happy that Kudo brought his girlfriend again, which leaves Reiko completely flustered. She later asks Kudo about it and wonders whether his actual girlfriend would be upset. Kudo just laughs and tells her not to worry about it. As Reiko gazes at a screen playing the Generic Terra ad, Kudo unexpectedly gives her a goldfish as a souvenir. She quietly takes it home. The following day, there's a public broadcast warning citizens about photochemical smog and advising them to stay indoors due to extreme heat and the risk of heat stroke. Reiko is seen painting the walls of the previously mentioned vacant apartment, working diligently into the night. She nearly loses her balance, but Kudo shows up just in time to catch her. Reiko mentions she's nearly done, but he tells her that heroes are supposed to arrive fashionably late. He didn't know she had come there all alone. She says she just wanted the future tenant to feel at ease, a sentiment she admits she picked up from a certain someone. Kudo grins mischievously and teases her, saying he's rubbing off on her. Reiko denies it. Kudo grabs a brush and helps her finish the last bit of painting, while Reiko sits quietly in the corner. At that moment, she finally comes to a realization. She has completely fallen for this guy. The next day, Reiko looks for the Goldfish Tea House, but strangely can't find it. When she arrives at the office, she sees Kudo asleep on the couch. As she goes to wake him, he suddenly pulls her in and kisses her passionately. Reiko struggles but can't break free. Then, just as abruptly, he pushes her away and says he mistook her for someone else. Reiko is left in complete shock and confusion. While working later, Kudo mentions that he skipped lunch and casually clocks out to grab something to eat, completely unbothered by what happened earlier. Reiko decides to clean his desk and accidentally comes across a photograph of him. Curiosity gets the better of her, and she slowly reaches for the photo, wanting to see the woman with the same peculiar habits as hers. When she finally sees it, she's taken aback. Later, while walking outside, she stumbles upon the Goldfish Tea House once again. The waiter welcomes her warmly. She can't help but wonder why she couldn't find the place just the day before. As she looks at the same photo again, the waiter casually mentions how fun that day was. She asks how he could possibly know that, and he reveals that he was the one who took the photo to commemorate her engagement to Kudo. Reiko is left completely bewildered. When we finally see the photograph, the woman looks exactly like her. The name, too, is the same. Reiko is left with one haunting question.
あなたがキスをしたのは一体誰?
That's it for this recap. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and supporting us so we can bring you more amazing anime recaps.